Yes, I love this land. It takes my breath away.
Welcome to Texas 10. I'm Melissa.
And I'm 4th of July Steve.
Okay, do y'all want to know why he's 4th of July Steve this week?
I love this country.
It's because we went to San Angelo, Texas in Tom Green County on the 4th of July.
We went the whole weekend.
We did. It was fun.
It was a long weekend. And it's always good to go to a military town for the 4th of July because they've got all the things.
Right. And in fact, Goodfellow Air Base is Air Force Base, right? Isn't that the one that's there? Is in San Angelo. So it really was a great weekend to celebrate the 4th of July.
Well, and San Angelo has always been a military town. Fort Concho is there. It's a deserted Army post now. Right. But we visited Fort Concho and it was really interesting. It's
actually beautiful. They have a lot of the original barracks and they had an art gallery. They had an art show in one of the barracks that was stunning. And one of my favorite pictures that I've taken on my iPhone comes from there. They have the big parade grounds. I don't know if you remember, the sky was really pretty that day, but very historic, and it was really a great visit.
It was, and I thought that you say the restored barracks, I think that it is one of the best places in Texas to see restored barracks that aren't just replicas. Right. They are the actual barracks, but they've been kept up, and not just the barracks, but the headquarters and the hospital and all of those things. So if you want to see what it was like to be a soldier back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, Fort Concho is a great place to go. The Buffalo Soldiers were there, right. And so there's a big piece of African American history there too.
So it was really, really great for a little piece of history in San Angelo. But there's other things that we loved about San Angelo too. They are an art town. We love art.
Didn't expect that.
I didn't either. And if you've seen any of our episodes, we love public art. We love murals. And they have an area town that's called Paintbrush Alley. And when I tell you they painted the town, they painted the town.
Right. And I liked it. A lot of them had call-outs to West Texas. There was a giant replica from the movie, those sort of things. So Paintbrush Alley was great. And then close to Paintbrush Alley, there's an old abandoned and roofless now bowling alley. And they had a bunch of more maybe pop art type murals in there.
And they also had some kind of sculptures that were in that space too. So that was really fun. We spent a long time walking the town.
And then we drove out to the Chicken Farm Art Gallery or art place, I think, and they had good art and crafts too.
Yes.
And then they had a song circle going on, and that was fun.
That was really fun, and I think there were chickens running around, but it was more kind of an artisan's community where, and if you like jewelry, that artisan jewelry, and if you like paintings and pottery and weaving, and so it kind of had all kinds of artisans.
Really cool stuff, affordable, which was sort of the opposite of the next art stop we made.
Right. There was this really cool bar that's called...
I'm sorry.
Go. No, I want you to.
Okay. I think it's called Raw 1899.
I think that's right. And they had artwork from a musician, Bobby Whitlock, who was in Eric and the Dominoes. Derek and the Dominoes, not Eric, because Eric Clapton was in that band, so I said Eric, and I love Eric Clapton. But I'm really cool that I saw something that someone that was with Eric Clapton created. Are you with me? The art was stunning.
Right.
Actually.
So, and I was thinking, well, that's neat. He's picked up a second career, and he's got all these royalties coming in, so he's sort of dabbling. I thought, wow, it was really striking. Then I looked at the price tags.
We did not leave with one.
No.
We wanted to.
High six digits.
Very, very beautiful art, though. Right. And then we were driving around, and we saw this guy had this little kind of a pop-up show in a space, and we had to go. And it was one of the most interesting art spaces. In fact, we did walk out with a piece from that. We walked, I don't know if you can see it, but we have a painting of Willie Nelson's guitar Trigger, and James, the artist, had painted that, but he had a really interesting concept. And I'm going to let Steve tell you about that because he's a lawyer.
Right. So James wanted to know how close art could come to replicating well-known things that are trademarked. And so there was all sorts of takes on it. There were Disney things. Disney's a big trademark company. And so it was sort of an intellectual exercise as well as an art exercise. He's a very interesting guy to talk to. He'd been a linguist at Goodfellow Air Force Base, which is one of the things they do there. Really smart. And he'd recently retired from the Air Force, but he just went back as a civilian. But and he'd gathered his art friends from the area to do that. Really cool.
It was really great. And then they have this beautiful river walk, and they have gorgeous bronzes and sculptures along that river walk. And I mean, you could there were people kayaking, and you can walk along it. It was really, really lovely. And that's kind of where we spent that evening, the 4th of July, for the fireworks.
They had the big fireworks.
And,
It was great. The whole town was out. That was sort of awesome. One last piece of art, because we're going to run out of time, and there's much more to San Angelo than just the art. But all over town, Angelo State is there, and there are the Rams. And so there are rams, painted rams, all over the town, and they're great.
I think my favorites were the ones at the Episcopal Church. They had several, and they were unique and fun and beautiful to look at. Well, yeah.
Go Rams.
Yeah. Well, there's also good restaurants, and we all know I love Tex-Mex, and so does Steve. And so one of our favorite Tex-Mex restaurants was downtown, and it was not great.
It was so favorite to her that she can't remember that it was Fuentes.
Fuentes.
Right.
I wanted to say Guerrero's, and I knew that wasn't right. Fuentes, but it was really great. And
high marks for Tex-Mex there.
Yes, 100%.
And then the other great eats, we ate several good places, and you can read about more of them on Texas10.com. But the other thing, a shout out to Roxy's Diner. You know we love the early morning breakfast diner. Roxy's Rocks.
Right. And then there was some fun shopping. And so what was the name of that really cool store? And it also had the ice cream bar where I met the precious boy.
So that's the Sassy Fox.
Yes. So it had a lot of shopping, and they also had a
soda
fountain.
Right.
And there was I'm a teacher, or I'm actually a principal now, but I was a teacher forever. And there was the cutest young man, and I guess his grandmother or
I think it was his grandmother owned the store.
And so he had decided that he would work, and he served us. And
he was 9 or 10 years old, working hard.
I had never talked to such a well-spoken young man, and we had the best time with him. So
and
belly up to a soda fountain, and you never know who you're going to meet. And it was really good.
And we gave him a $1 tip, and that was like the biggest deal. So.
Yeah, he's like, I've never gotten a tip before.
And then right across the street from the Sassy Fox is the Eggmeyer General Store, and it is one of the best general stores in Texas. I remember they had these huge model airplanes hanging from the ceiling, and they had all sorts of stuff in there. So you will love Eggmeyer's just to look around and try and escape with your wallet intact.
And then if you want to know what it might have been like in the early days at a house of ill repute, you can go...
Just from a walkthrough perspective.
You can go. They had
Miss Hattie's Bordello.
Yes, and they had it set up like it was set up during the day, and
told the stories. There's a tour guide.
Yes,
that was all great.
And you learned the stories of the ladies who worked there, which it really helped you see them as people too. It wasn't just what was the lady's name on Gunsmoke, where Miss Kitty,
right?
But they had kids, and it was really interesting, and it was set up like it was back in the day.
San Angelo was an old west town, and so you could sort of see that. So a couple other real quick, we're running up against that.
How is that?
Right, because there's a lot to do in San Angelo. I want Letty's Boots.
Oh, custom-made boots. And when you walk in, it's the smell of leather.
So
beautiful boots.
Letty's is from there. They have a store in the stockyards, and it is one of Texas's premier boot makers. So
and their sign is great.
And then the Cactus Bookstore. maybe my favorite bookstore in Texas because it has got it's almost all Texana. And so obviously on Texas 10, I could sit in the Cactus bookstore. I could just buy the whole thing and move it. Well, I couldn't, but I would like to. So it's basically a Texas library.
So San Angelo's was one of those towns that's a little off the beaten path that people think San Angelo. And I'm not going to lie, we thought San Angelo.
Speak for yourself. I was almost born in San Angelo.
Well, that is true.
My dad's military career started at Goodfellow Air Force Base.
Steve could have been a native Texan, but his parents robbed him and took him back to Illinois to be born. But then he came back and then got here for good as quick as he could. But San Angelo was just a great town. The people were fun and friendly. Lots of great public art. They have lakes close by that you can go if you like that lake life. And so, yeah, go to San Angelo.
We filled a long weekend in
Yes,
San Angelo.
100%.
It was not a day trip. We filled a long weekend.
So we hope you keep joining us on Texas 10 to find out more about great cities in Texas.
Yes, and we'd also like you to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the social media things, and tell a friend about Texas 10.
And I love this land. Oh, it takes my breath away. From the Palo Duro to the Gulf Coast plain. From the heart of the hill country to the piney wood shade. I love this land. It takes my